All right, so in this video, we are going to build yet another fun application here. This application will be called Try Me. Okay, so go ahead and create a project, a Java Android, an Android project, and name it Try Me. Okay, and I already have here a demo, so this application will do the following. So we'll have a big button in the middle here that says Try Me, and when we click on it, we'll change the background color like this, and it's all random. Okay, that's the beauty of it. So we keep going, and sometimes we get the same color because it's all random. And there we go. This is the application that we are going to be building. So once the project is open, it's created, this is what we have here. And I went ahead and added a few items here, the background images. So if you go to Reveal in Finder, this is what we should have. Okay, so I went ahead and got these two put into the drawable. In fact, I don't think we're using this one here. I don't need this. And you will have access to all of this, obviously. Okay, so I have this round background PNG image here, which is already there, right? First thing we need to do, of course, is to put a button around here. Let's go ahead and put a button right there in the middle. And we are going to give it an ID, Try Me button. Okay, that's perfect. All right, let's go back to our main ones here. So like what else we need to do? Let's add our background here. Pick a resource here, and right away we'll see we have our round_B. So click on that and say perfect. That looks great. Okay, and the next thing we need to do, let's go ahead and change the text color of our button here. Okay, so let's search here, text color. There it is. Let's change it color to this background light white there. That looks good. How about let's see if we can change the text size to make it a little bit bigger. So click here. In fact, we don't need to do that. Let's go ahead and change it ourselves. Here, let's give it actually 18 SB. Well, that's great. That looks wonderful. Perfect. Let's go ahead and run one more time just to see if things are actually looking the way we want them to look. There we go. And what do you know? It looks great. Okay, nothing is happening when we click the button here because simply we haven't done anything in the code. But at least we know that things are looking good. Perfect. So let's go back here. So the next thing we need to take care of is our background here. We need to figure out how do we access our background, because remember, we are going to change the background color each time they tap on this button here. And while we're here, let's change this button here to something different, the title to something different. Let's change it to, let's see here. Okay, it says text is button. Let's say we're going to click here in the pick a source, a resource. Click there, and we want to add resources, string resources file. That way it's easier to maintain. Okay, we're going to name this Try Me, and the value is going to be Try Me. So the value is what we are going to see once we use it. Okay, and you can see it's going to be under strings.xml. Say okay. Already has one. That's fine. That's because that's what I used before. There we go. Try Me. Say okay. And if you want to make sure to see what I'm talking about, if you go to strings here, we should have here Try Me. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Try Me. That's perfect. So how do we then figure out a way to access the background here? If we go to the text view, we can see that this would be the background section here represents the background, represents this white area that we see. Okay, and we said before, anything that we see is an object, and it can also be represented via XML text, as we see here. And we also said, in order for us to be able to access resources of any type, including this view here, okay, because again, it's a resource type, as you can see here, we need to have an ID. You see this button here, we gave it an ID of try me button. Should be button, not button. Okay, there we go. 2 T's. There we go, that's much better. Okay, we have try me button here as the ID, which means now we will be able to reference this button when we are ready to create our logic here in our activity. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the first thing we need to do is to give this an ID. So if you say ID, there it is, we're gonna choose the first one, add plus ID, and we're gonna give it ID of window view ID. This way, now we will be able to reference this view. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and create our link. Let's go ahead and link everything up here. So the first thing we're going to say is private, and we are going to say view because now we want to be able to reference this view here, which incidentally is this background view in the back. It's a view, okay? And since we need to resolve this, that means we have to import this view package class here. You just say, Alt or Option, Enter, and there we go. You will see at the top here, we will see this view import that has just happened. Window view. And the next we're going to say private. And it's going to be a button. Right, because now we're going to try to get this button here reference. We're going to call this try me button. That's great. So now that we have our view window here, which is this background here, let's see what we can do with it. Because remember, everything is a view. Okay, so that means whatever we can do with buttons, obviously we can do with views as well. So that's the idea. Remember that hierarchy that I told you about. At the top we have view, and then at the bottom we have all those widgets which are buttons, text view, edit text, and so forth. So let's try something quick here so that way we can see the power here that we have. So now that we have this window view here, created field, we can go ahead and say window is equal to find view by ID. We can say r.id. window view ID. Now you notice right away here, we don't have to cast like we do when we create button or any other widget, right? We usually have here, we could have said here view. And that's still, it's okay, but it's very unnecessary. Well, because as you can see here, it says it's redundant because we are finding view by ID. And it happens to be, it's actually a view type that we are finding. So we don't need to put that there. Okay, so we can just go ahead and do this. That way we can get the window view ID reference to our window view here. Okay, once we have that, let's play around with something here. Let's say window view. Let's set the background color to something. We say dot set background color. And notice something here. This background color takes an integer as a color. Okay, there's other ways to add colors, but let's use this one. And now we can say color class, right? And say dot, we can change it to red. Let's save this and run. We should have a red background color showing. Look at that. Wonderful. That's amazing. That's really good. So you can see the power here that you have. And you can go ahead and say, for instance, window dot, let's see what else can we do. We can even set a background from a drawable, which means we can set a background of using an image that we have under our drawables or under our resources images. So we could have put an image here and we could have referenced that way as well. All right. Okay. So that's the idea that I wanted to show you before we proceed here. And I hope you understand what's happening here. There's nothing really new. It's just that we were able to get the view this one background here because we know it's an object, and then we linked it to its window view ID. That way we have a handle, and then we can do whatever else we want to do with it, just like we do with buttons and text views and edit text and so forth. Okay. All right. So in the next video, we'll continue working on this app here, and I'll see you later.